democratic governance, a focus on countries in Africa facing security and governance challenges. When we turn on the television nowadays, the first thing that hits you is the news. And the first thing that hits you in the news is war. How are we to develop? How are we to grow our economies? How are we to give a bright future to the youths so that they can lead when there's war?
Non-judgment is an area that we can start with. And the other important thing that we need to do is to converse, communicate and understand each other. It's not for us to go into any community and impose. So even in our 55 countries in Africa, one nation can't demonstrate or tell another nation what to do.
USA, 330 million people, and they have over 5,000 universities, and so they can afford to train their citizens. But Nigeria, on the other hand, 220 million people, just less than 200 universities. You can see the deficit. What I mean to say by that is that when 1.5 million, let's even say 2 million people apply for university places every year, 2 million people, only 350, maximum 400,000 get a place. So 1.6 million every year are on the street of Nigeria looking for where to go. So what they do, they resort to going to Uganda, Kenya, Ghana, or even Cotonou. Cotonou currently houses 10,000 of Nigerian citizens looking for qualification. Those are countries that are not as endowed as Nigeria when it comes to wealth, GDP per capita. They're not, but they're taking our students in. And guess what? In the last 6, 7, 8 months, we've welcomed to my own university, to UK alone, 76,000 Nigerians alone. Come with their families, paying around about £14,000 to get a master's degree. And hey, most of these individuals are actually doctors, qualified doctors already practicing back home in their countries. But they bring in their wealth to pump this economy up and draining their own economy.
Ubuntu means being human, being humane. And I think that sits at the bottom of every single war that we have out there, the lack of it. What would the world be if we actually promoted Ubuntu?
Do not get bogged down in this thing about racism and colonialism. It's a waste of time and energy. People in the Western world talk about it for their good, not your good. It's for their good, it isn't your good. It means that they can come back here, accuse all kinds of people of being racist. It might be true, it might be not, but they're making lots of good hay for themselves, none of it in Africa.
I would like to ask a question about the solution, your point of view about how we can consolidate peaceful coexistence in these countries that are ravaged by war.
We need to pressure the UN to actually provide security. Where there is conflict on the ground and that conflict is enduring, the UN need to provide people, men, weapons from outside of that conflict to prevent that conflict. That is a direct ask. We want people to come here and end that conflict.
The conflict in Africa is basically resources, interest of the West to control our resources, and we should understand that.